Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. How's everyone doing out there? Fabulous episode today because we're getting into some new Måneskin. Okay, the new album Rush has just come out, so we're going to do some reaction to some new songs. Ty,
Yeah.
what was your impressions, man? Like, first listen.
Overall, it's a good album.
I think it is too.
It's a good album. It's kind of underwhelming.
Why do you say that?
I feel like they kind of like stayed in their comfort zone,
Okay.
and like I feel like they kind of lost a bit of their identity with this track list.
Ouch, man.
I mean, you have however many songs, and you only have 3 Italian songs, and 2 of them are eh.
Yeah.
And comparing their last album, which is nearly flawless, and you're having all these innovative sounds and songs, and you go into this and you're getting none of that here. Don't get me wrong, the album is really good, but
Okay, well,
it's just kind of underwhelming.
all right. Another perspective is they're a young band.
Mm-hmm.
This is like their 3rd studio album. I appreciate what they did because maybe on the one before this one, they were more raw themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of appreciate the fact that there's some new production in this, and maybe what I'm interpreting you're saying is maybe they played it a little safe,
Mm-hmm.
which I totally understand. Totally understand. But I think the songs are still good. And they're such a young band that, on the next album, they can go back and rock out and do different things too. But I think this moment in time, I think it's a really good album. And I think they did what they wanted to do. How it'll be accepted by the audience is another question.
Well, I think
'Cause it is different.
I don't think it's that different. I think it's going to be very commercially successful, and it's going to be very liked by the general audience.
I hope so.
The only thing is like it's very safe, and it's not. There's not a lot of. You lose a lot of the classic Måneskin sound from here, and
I do agree with you there.
Like, and regarding the production, there's a couple highlights here that
Yeah.
are different. Blah blah blah. It's a little standoutish. Gasoline's a little different as well. But going into that, it's just like every song kind of sounds like this American pop rock sound that you've heard for decades.
Okay, you're bringing in the American aspect. How do you think that affected the album?
I mean, Måneskin's not going to put out a bad album or a bad song, okay?
Right.
It's a little underwhelming, you know what I mean? Like, you're going into this expecting some fresh Måneskin sounds. You want to hear what they've been doing, what they've been up to. You don't really get that here, and I think don't get me wrong, it's a good track list, but that's just kind of my take.
Okay, understood. I take it in more as a direction that they wanted to go, and it's pretty good. In my eyes, it's a really good album. The American production, I think that's kind of what they wanted to do. They wanted to develop this, I guess you call it American pop rock sound,
Mm-hmm.
and there are some really fabulous songs on the album. We've done like 3 or 4 already, maybe Americanized elements in it. But I think that's okay for now in this moment in time, and that's what they wanted to do.
Well, I think it's the right move strategically to become more mainstream and to have another pop rock hit like Begging. But other than that, I mean, you're not really getting. I feel like they just lost a lot of their identity.
Maybe so, but I think that's on purpose because they really haven't done this yet, and maybe that's why they dove in fully.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing the album from beginning to end, the Måneskin elements, traditional Måneskin elements, because they're such a young band, are still in there. But I honestly think they did this on purpose just to see if they could and how would they be in this context.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in America, recording, the production is really good. Maybe you didn't like the ideas as well as I did.
I mean, it's a great track list. Every song is good.
Yeah.
There's not a bad song on here.
Like maybe in the future, if there's some raw album, you'll go back and go, oh yeah, that was their sound.
Well,
when they recorded
there's
in
not
America.
a banger on here that hits anywhere near as hard as the last album, and the ballads are not as good either. So
Okay.
it's like the lows are lower, the highs are lower, but
Wait.
you're left with a good album.
Okay, and I agree with everything you've said, except for maybe the ballads. The loneliest is growing on me, and if not for you, I think is strong.
It still does not even come close to Coraline or the last track on the last album.
I agree, but that was that moment in time, though. You know what I mean? Because they were just starting out. I think they'll look back on this and say, you know what, I'm glad we did that. It was a strong album. Now, if that's all they do from here on out, that's a different question.
Mm-hmm.
But if this is a studio album, they decided to make it more pop or whatever, I'm okay with that because let's hear them do it. And today we're going to do Baby Said, which what's interesting about this one is this is everything that you were just talking with me about. It's a pop American sound in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a great first one to get into. The album's so diverse. Obviously, we have two different opinions about it. But let's dive into Baby Said. Let's see what we can take out of it. I get your perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I totally understand it. I'm glad we're coming from two different directions.
No, I mean, I love it. I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times now, and each song just gets better with each listen. It's just not as innovative or creative as the last album in any aspect.
Your expectations were way high.
It's because I know what they're capable of, and I've seen it done, and I've seen them perform, and it's just kind of a letdown to see them go in this kind of in the box kind of path, you know.
Okay. Understood. Well, let's check out Baby Said and dive in.
Okay.
What's your thoughts about religion? Are you close to your mother? Tell me about your dream vacation and all of your ex-lovers. Tell me now, what's that look on your face? She puts her hand on my lips, begging please end this conversation. Baby said, when you're talking I go dead. Shut your mouth, give me your head. Said, let me taste your silhouette. You can talk between my legs. No, you really want to. Tell me what's your favorite color.
It is straightforward.
And all of your ambitions. I'm not afraid of you being vulgar, but why are you so vicious? Tell me now, what's that look? She puts her hand on my lips, begging please end this conversation. Baby said, when you're talking I go dead. Shut your mouth, give me your head. No, you really want to. Baby said, let me taste your silhouette. You can talk between my legs. No, you really want to. I was running after you. I was running after you. I was crying and loving while you were just coming and howling at the moon. Yeah, you were running away from this conversation. Baby said, when you're talking I go dead. Shut your mouth, give me your head. No, you really want to. Baby said, let me taste your silhouette. You can talk between my legs. No, you really want to. I wish you didn't, but my baby said. I wish you didn't, but my baby said. I wish you didn't, but my baby said. I wish you didn't, but my baby said.
All right, what we talked about before, It's all right out there. Pop, rock, but really good, I think.
No, I mean, yeah, it's a fantastic song, and it's great. The length is perfect. It wants you to replay
hits.
it immediately. Replay value is there. Production is there. The producer they're working with really knows how to craft these choruses.
Yeah.
It's just, it's an Italian rock band.
Okay.
And that's why I like them, right? The album's not even in Italian, and it's pop rock, and it's American pop rock. So it's like, what am I even listening to them for at this point? You know what I mean? It's like,
wait a minute. Whoa. I don't know if you're missing the point or what.
it's like, it's just so different, and there's a million bands that can do this. It's just like, I've heard this over and over again with rock bands, and I got into Måneskin because they're Italian. They're
Okay,
singing
understood.
in Italian. It's rock. It's different. There's some groove to it.
All right.
And it's just kind of, I've heard this before.
Okay, you're coming from the perspective of you've heard it before, and maybe I'm coming from more of a perspective of it's interesting to hear them do it though.
Sure.
You know, because they do it as well as anyone in this context now. It's like you can add this to Måneskin's catalog now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with all that other great stuff. In Moment del Padre, right?
But none of those
Bangers.
none of these are anywhere near those tracks.
And we are in total agreement.
Yeah.
Total agreement. But Måneskin with this, it's right down the middle, straight up. But at least it's good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a great album. It's very digestible for pretty much anyone that listens to it. That's why I'm
Very.
saying they lost a lot of their signature sound. It's gone. All you have is his vocals that are making it really unique here.
I totally agree with you, and I do understand if you want to start someone off with Måneskin, don't play them this song. Someone just getting into Måneskin, don't listen to this first because you're going to think they're, I don't know, Maroon 5 or something. So maybe that's bugging you because they went into this lane.
It's not, what do I want to say? You know, it's like a whole album of pop rock when they've done like a wider amount of experimentation and sounds. And
Yeah.
I mean, I will say this album is very consistent. It's an easy listen all the way through, but they've done that before.
We just saw them live, and a song like this, Baby Said, was not in that performance. It was hard rock all evening, and some really awesome ballads thrown in. So I get that. I'd have been interesting to see them perform this live, because maybe they'd rough it up, grunge it up some. But it's straight up pop. I still think it's really good. Is it mid for you?
No, I would say it's a great song. It's not mid, but I think when you're looking at the album as a whole, it kind of hits in the mid area. But individually, the songs are great.
There were parts in when I was listening to it where I thought, this is kind of like the Cars. You know, it was kind of like a new wave thing.
Yeah.
And I thought, that was interesting. Honestly, didn't we kind of know there were going to be songs like this and it was going to kind of go in that direction?
Well, it's like you got like 4 or 5 singles: Supermodel, The Loneliest, La Fine,
Yeah, Gossip. which is
Mamma
very-
Mia.
Yeah.
And all those are like good enough.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There's not a single song on here that blew me away.
Yeah. Except for maybe Gasoline,
Like when you go
But
back
we've
to
heard
our
that one
when you
before.
go back to our first reactions of Måneskin,
For Your Love.
and you're going, and we were blown away. We're like, what the hell is this? This is so cool. Not a single song on here was like that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Because hearing For Your Love for the first time, that was a different experience than if we had heard Baby Said. We might have been like,
That was good.
Oh,
That was
okay.
good.
you were really blown away.
You know,
So was I.
yeah. I mean, it's just a different take. I mean, they obviously do it very well.
Yeah.
It's just, and it's going to be appealed by the mainstream. It's just, do
And
I want
I-
another album of this? Probably not.
Right, probably not. But I do know this will get them into the North American mainstream and hit after hit. For them, kudos, that's what they accomplished.
Yeah, I think strategically and money wise, this is the right move.
People coming on board now are going to love this. The American audience is going to love this, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that might piss off people overseas. We've already had some comments. They're kind of giving it a mid reaction.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like 5 out of 10, 6 out of 10. And no way in hell is that the case for this album.
I would give it a strong 6.
A strong 6, okay.
Maybe a light 7. So there's already some skips for me in there, and there's some songs that are kind of forgettable.
Måneskin skips?
Yeah. But I mean, overall, it's a really good album, strong album for the catalog. It's just I wanted to see more, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, they did do Mark Chapman in Italian,
Yeah,
and that put me right back into, ooh, that's Måneskin. Bang!
and there's more swag in that song. You can hear it, like when he sings in Italian. There's more groove to it.
Oh, you're saying with this Americanized pop sound, they're losing some of the swag.
They're Italian, and the whole album's in English. You know what I
get you.
mean? And it's American pop sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, so what are we doing here? You know what I mean?
I really understand. It's funny. I'm
I was expecting.
in the middle.
Yeah, I was expecting at least one really hard Italian banger. Or you kind of get that on Mark Chapman, but it still doesn't live up.
La Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple, but it is balanced out with this pop stuff. I'm more interested that they did go this direction because just hearing it has so many good elements to them. But I hope it's just part of the story.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I'm still digging the album. I'm still gonna listen to it for many months. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what they do in the future after this because
Already.
it's like, now what do you do?
Okay. Well, I think this is a really fabulous part of the story for them on their discography. This could be a breakthrough, but only if they keep the raw grunge swag, like you said, that we love from Måneskin. Can't wait to hear the comments after this.
Yeah.
I think we have two different sides and probably opinions that a lot of people out there want to discuss with us, that they agree or they disagree. I think it's going to be that kind of album.
Yeah.
But when we did Supermodel, this is kind of how you felt.
Yeah.
You were like, uh-oh.
Well, that's how the fans felt too.
Yeah, you were the same. Like, uh-oh, I don't know what this means because Supermodel was straight up.
And Mamma Mia was a single, and it was a very weak song. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. The Loneliest it's like everyone's like either or. They could take it or leave it.
Yeah, and their best ballads are not on this album.
Yeah.
But Baby Said Today, it's a great way to get started off with a Måneskin conversation. There's a lot of passionate fans out there, just like us, just like him, as you can tell. And there's going to be fun reactions to get into. Let us know what you think. Bring it, man. I think in the long run, these songs will really grow on you, and they'll go down easier. Just singing them live, it was banger after banger after banger.
Well, I think the fans are gonna like it. It's just I think they're not gonna like it as much. You know what I mean?
Okay, fair enough, man.
That's just how I hear it. You know what I mean?
Well,
So we'll see.
Baby Said Today gets the conversation going with us and everybody out there on the new Måneskin album. We'll see how it does. All right, thank you, man.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching this reaction with us and discussion, and we hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next episode.
More reactions to come. Should be interesting conversations. And again, we have a Måneskin playlist on the channel. Check it out. Also plenty of 80s stuff. A little bit of something for everyone. All right, thanks, man. And we'll see you next time on the show.
All right, guys.
Bye.